Well, you know, you know. We've got some late night TTI action here. The last time we were here, it was also Aphra. And it's Aphra again. This time Zaz333's facing off against Jonah Niklas in what should be, I think, a more challenging matchup. Jonah on this Anakin deck that can potentially aggro out the Aphra. Oh, I'm in Portland right now instead of Eugene, so my setup is a bit different, so navigating some things. But lists are linked in the description if you want to take a look at them anytime. But this is Zaz333's. It's Aphra. It's hard control. It's going to be trying to remove every unit that Jonah plays, and then eventually either mill him out with vigilances or stick in a vendor that can't be outed. This is Jonah's Anakin list, which is pretty tuned. It's got a lot of hand hate, which could potentially be trouble for Zaz3. It's also running crate dragons, which could be trouble. Anakin in general can push base, but Zaz3 won't be putting a lot of pressure on the base, so maybe he won't end up hitting for a lot. We'll see. But Zach definitely has the potential to aggro out quick. And I am going to be trying to be quiet because it is 2 a.m. and, All right. Should be getting started here pretty soon. Are they waiting for me, or are they just thinking on mulligans? I think they're just thinking on mulligans. I would, yeah, I mean, both players should think I'd be throwing back there. Ooh, and a whiff on the turn one play from Jonah definitely hurts here. And if you're Zaz, you kind of got to be happy about that because you didn't get one either. And we're going straight into round 2 here. That's a 6 in the discard for Zaz3. Unmasking the conspiracies could be interesting in this matchup, but it's also could be a risk because I think one of the ways that Jonah wins this game is by playing hand control, and unmasking the conspiracy really fits into that. Right now, it's going to be enticing reward here, which is how Zaz3 beats the hand control strategy from Jonah. Jonah also doesn't have any right now. Ooh, there's one of them. Force throw. Takedown, so that's a 4 in the discard pile. So now if Zaddy is able to play Merciless Contest here to defeat the Yoda, then he's gonna have 1, 3, 4, and 6 in the discard pile. And he can easily get a 0 in there for free just by playing this fine edition, although maybe that's not ideal. So he's already 4 out of 5 of the way there to Aphra. Presumably he plays this Merciless. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen here. Yoda does get a card draw, but Zaz gets 2. Ooh, not the greatest pickups there, but you know, card's a card. He gets a Merciless. Merciless is as good as anything. And he's going to pick up the I Am Your Father as well. He's got another I Am Your Father in hand. I Am Your Father is an interesting card. It's not currently in my list. I've played around with it, and it always ends up getting cut. But Zazzy's, made use out of it before. Even if it's just like, because, drawing 3 cards is usually insane. Dealing 7 damage to something is also usually insane. So there's definitely an argument for it. And we'll see if it ends up coming up in this matchup or if it just ends up being a resource. Zazzy has this fine addition, and playing it to get the enticement reward back is not impossible here. It's not a unique unit, so I don't think he's gonna go for it. It looks like he's just gonna pass or take initiative. Sorry. Village Protectors is actually doing a very nice job of shutting off this I Am Your Father. Basically forcing Merciless here. Yep. There's Poe, and no Merciless for the Poe. Zazzy does have Frozen Carbonate, which does deal with them. Ooh, okay. He's thinking about being greedy. I don't think you can afford to do that because remember, Poe can always just discard. So if you play Fine Edition to bring back the enticement word, Poe can always just discard a card to remove it. So you don't want to see that. Ooh, Vigilance Milled. And I think that's another Merciless picked up off the top. Pretty perfect here. Now both leaders are officially online. Zazzy's traditionally played as Aphra slow, which I think is the right way to do it. But with this cannon flip, maybe he does it now. Because let's see, he should have 1, 2. I think he's got 5. Yeah, 1 from the reward, 3, 4, 6. Maybe he's only got 4. Alright. He is going to flip here. Picks up Merciless, Vigilance. He is definitely playing into Force Throw here, which he may not realize. Oh, Entrenched. Okay, yeah, so he's got the 2 in there, so he's should be at 5. And Merciless. That's a solid pickup. Zaz333 does have the Force Throw blocker in Fine Edition, but he might... Fine Edition is technically online right now, so he might actually want to play it. He discards the Frozen Carbonite. Takes 3. And he is going to go for the Fine Edition, yeah. Try and get another Entice Remote Trigger off. I think that's a good move. I think the extra card is more valuable than the extra turn out of Aphra. It's basically what the trade is. Yes, you do indeed have to pay for the enticement reward. That's what they're figuring out. There we go. Kanan eliminated here. Things are looking good for Zaz333 at the moment. And it's hard to see how they could turn around. Anakin is potentially a way to do it. Vigilance is going to be picked up here, and second Vigilance also going to be picked up here. Zaz333 doesn't really have a good answer to Anakin at the moment. And for that reason, I might have picked the Power of the Dark Side that he saw instead of the second Vigilance, but it does feel bad to lose your second Vigilance. And Jonah looks like he's going to play this Anakin slow here. Picks up and they're going to be dead. That's a good way to at least temporarily stop an Anakin push. But at this point, he's going up to 7. He's going to Super Laser Blast next turn. So the Anakin threat is growing smaller by the minute. Did he not resource? Okay. I disagree with that decision. Let it be known. I'm not keeping the second copy of I'm Your Father in this hand. But, I mean, maybe I think Zaz333 might just want to keep like a certain threshold of card advantage to avoid playing into things like Pillage. Alright, there's a bunch of weird mills there from Vigilance. K2 is a good mill. Cassian's a solid mill also, but most of the rest of that was junk that was never going to be useful. Alright, there's a Cassian. And there's the Anakin flip. And at this point, I think Zaz333 might actually definitely regretting not resourcing this turn, because now he can't Super Laser Blast this turn. Alright, there's an I'm Your Father. And it's draw. Alright. And those are 3 pretty big ones. Entrenched. There we go. Putting a stop to the Anakin. And there's an unmasking conspiracy here. Probably just gonna be one of those Lukes. Yep. Preemptive strike. And Jonah's, he could have committed to that second Luke, but he's playing it cautiously to avoid getting wrecked too hard by Super Laser Blast. And then Zaz333's going to aggressively restock here. I think we're now at a stage in the game where it's going to be really hard imagining that Zaz333 loses this one. Okay, hit the second K2. K2's a nuisance for the second and the third K2 and a Crate Dragon. Those are definitely big hits off the Vigilance. Zaz333 here is, you know, he's got the Super Laser Blast in hand, but he's fine being greedy here. He's not facing a ton of immediate pressure. And there's Luke. Is the arc going to come down as well, or is it going to be follow-up? Nope, it's going to be follow-up. And yep, there it is. I think that's the right timing. And then another aggressive restock here. I think the point, I still can't figure out what the point is of doing this. But I think it might just be to, like, you know, have other cards that cycle and maybe get some of these things to the top deck earlier. There's not really a point in leaving them in the discard pile either, but there could be a point in keeping a high card count in hand to play around things like Pillage, so could come back to bite Zaz333, but Jonah doesn't have those things at this time. All right, and onward we go. Okay, I think it's even by takedown. This Village Protectors can actually get some damage in. and 3 for Merciless Contest. All right. Pick one. And it's giving me the village people that take it. All right, there's a Luke to follow up here. And Luke's going to get entrenched. Entrenched feels a bit weird with Power of the Dark Side in hands, but yeah, it does. It is a good answer in the short term to Luke. Jonah here picks up his second Crate Dragon. I believe he's only on 2 in the main, which is definitely a strategic card here. And I mean, that's one thing that I mean is, you know, Avenger comes down and Luke's the obvious target. There's crates. Crate is going to allow Jonah to push in 6 more here, in all likelihood. Zaz is going to go fell. That defeats the crate. Takes 4 to base. Reinforce our resort arc hits for 2 more, so that's 24. And yep, that's exactly what we see at the openers, though. 6 damage gets into the base. Jonah could have played the Fell the Dragon early on the Avenger to stop it from attacking, but I think he made a wise move in saying, you know, well, I'm going to lose the arc anyway. Might as well attack with it while I can. If I didn't have, you know, if I played the removal on the Avenger, then there would have been some other removal to deal with the arc. So I think Jonah made a wise move there. But it seems like good chance is just too little too late here. Looking at a Poe. The Poe is an actual threat. And there's the late fell here. Is Vanquish against the obvious target of Poe. Let's see what 3PO calls. It's going to be, I don't know. Didn't hit. All right. And there's the second I am your father that Zazzy's been holding this whole time. All right, no, actually it's going to just be Power of the Dark Side. Top target generates some healing for Zazzy. He's now 11 left. Let's count cards in deck. Just 5 cards left in deck for Jonah. Just 11 cards left for Zazzy, and also 11 health. Tech, cover the resource row. That'll cost another resource. Our card, that's down to 4. left for Jonah here. And regional governor. Naming Super Laser Blast, solid name. And it's picked up right here. That's the perfect out to this board. And that racial governor is pretty impactful here. Being able to stop the super laser. This gives Jonah an opening. Zaz does have the evacuate in hand, which can bail him out if he needs it. And he might end up needing it. Zaz back out to 21. Goes for I am your father. And that's going to again result in the card draw. Vigilance is picked back up, but at a point where it doesn't really matter because Jonah's losing cards anyways. I've got to stop doing these hard control matches late at night. It's just puts you right to sleep, you know? The 4 a.m. election night one I could do because it was like, you know, mid-range versus aggro. They were actually making moves and stuff. This is just like, you know, which, you know, unit do I have to kill to allow me to play the Super Laser Blast? You know, blow up everything. Obi-Wan, Zazzy's a bit too close for comfort here. I think he's probably gonna be forced to fire off and evacuate. That's the last card in Jonah's deck. He's starting to take damage. This match would be a double loss 100%. Well, we're already at 29 minutes, so yeah. Right, yep, there's the evacuate. Evacuate's a card that I've been back and forth on in Aphra. I think my current list is not in there, but man, sometimes in cases like this, it's just so good and so necessary to stop yourself from just getting overwhelmed completely. But other times, it's basically just a waste of resources and card advantage. Because it is a -1, technically, in card advantage. But sometimes a little tempo play is all you need. Right, there's Yoda's position. Yoda's play here. I believe his ability is optional, so if he dies, you're not necessarily taking damage as Jonah. Taking a while to figure out the fourth card here for this restock. It's the second evacuate. All right. Now, notably, like taking these cards out of this card pile takes them offline for Bounty Hunter Crew. To the extent that that's relevant. All right. And when it was 2 a.m. for Rebel Trader when it started, he'll be in bed by 5. Yeah, we'll see. All right, Yoda gets a hit in, and Jonah's back to 24 damage dealt. He does have just... Oh, what's the math? 6 and 12. He's got 3 turns left. Before he dies to mill. It looks like Yoda forced Zaz333 to draw here. All right, restock. Come on, guys. We know how this one's going to end. Restock just going to make absolutely sure of it for Aphra. Watch from the other side of the world. Time is 18:20 here. That's what, 6:20? Yeah, wow. Yeah, it's 2:20 over here, AM. But howdy from the other side of the world. Glad you could make it. Oh, we really got people from all over. 3:20, 11:20, 1:20. No 4:20s yet. But I suppose we'll still be playing in an hour, so. I should say, to be clear, I'm not throwing shade at any of these players for playing it out. That's obviously their right and duty, but I'm just saying, it takes a while, It takes a while for this mill situation to really set in. There's another evacuate. All right, and Joe's going to call it. And Zaz333, congratulations. It's taking game 1. here are the deck lists. Reminder, you can look at these in the description anytime on Substack. But Jonah's definitely got some tech he can bring in for this matchup. One of them is literally tech, but he's also got, the third Great Dragon, Steel Guerrera, Rivals Fall potentially. I don't think you need Rivals Fall. I think like your Fel the Dragons. The only units you really need to deal with are like Avenger. That's basically it. Stila is, potentially gets you just more card advantage, and the third Pillage also could be relevant. Hand control, I do think is one of Jonah's big pathways to victory here. On the other side, Zaz333's got just a bunch of random things that he can bring in if he feels like he needs them. We might see Scanning Officers. Scanning Officer is weird for 4, but it does take out Cassian. I mean, that's the only thing you really would use it for, but maybe it makes an appearance. The second Bazine, I would imagine, makes an appearance. The third copy of Enticing Reward, frankly, I don't know why the third Enticing Reward is in the main. I think he might have added it to the main in his more recent builds because he is changing it all the time, but I definitely would be playing 3 Enticing Reward main. Let's take a look at the bracket real quick. This is our last top 16 match that we don't know the result of. There's 2 others that haven't been posted yet, but they will be in the coming days. Winner of this one gets to play Sabine in the top 8. Definitely not the matchup you're looking for, Zaz333. If Jonah manages to pull off a reverse sweep here, I think he's definitely going to be a little bit more favored into that matchup, but it'll be close. Three palps. 2 of the palps are the old palp. One of them is the new one. And yeah, 2 Sabines and then the Stuku deck. All right, looks like we're really getting started with game 2 here. So good luck to both these players. I think it's always polite to root for a game 3, but frankly, I want to go to bed. So let's hope we get a quick game 2 here. All right, there's a 3PO, and it's going to be a miss. Aircraft off the top. I think we saw it in game 1, the first mill off the top with Aphra was Bounty Hunter Crew, right? That's not a sleep deprivation induced lie that my brain made up. All right, Power of the Dark Side. Zaz333 is a little bit on the back foot here, but Jonah's mostly playing, small units that aren't doing much. There's just a force throw for the card advantage, yeah. Good moves by Jonah, but his units are small and they're not doing a ton of damage yet, so you don't feel horrible if you're Zaz333, but Pillage here could be a potential game changer. Avenger gets resource here. I think that's fine. Avenger's not really a win con in this matchup. It often just gets eaten by Fel the Dragon. I might have even sided out Avengers if I were Zaz333. And there's the Pillage. That's big. If the enticing reward ends up popping off, that could swing things around, but leaving with just one card in hand, that hurts. But this is the Aphra flip turn, and Uzazi's got a couple of different ways he can remove this Yoda if he wants. Ooh, second pillage picked up for Jonah alongside this K2 as well. And now let's see what happens with this enticing. Ooh, these are some pretty good pickups. It's going to be a difficult choice here. On Jonah's side, we'll see if he goes for pillage or if he goes for the K2 play, which is a bit more aggressive in terms of damage, or if he goes for something else entirely. We'll see. Zaz333 really likes that. I am your father. I mean, it definitely helped them in game one, at least to some extent. But all right, Aphra flips. Aphra actually could flip this turn, and I think she'd be online just based on everything that's been milled. There's no way she's not, right? Pretty sure we saw 0 in Fine Edition. We saw, I don't know. I'm not even gonna try to remember all the different cards that Aphra sent, but she's not gonna flip this turn, at least. Ooh, Zaz333 knows he's played from behind, chooses not to go for a resource there. Staking himself at 5 as opposed to 6. It's Crate Dragon. This is the hit. Not the immediate threat, but the long-term one. And there's the short-term threat. I do think, despite the imminent threat of the K2, there is a real logic with this hand going for the long-term threat. Because if you don't have an out for that Crate Dragon, it'll end up horrible. And there's the Aphra. Did Zaz skip Rescar starting already? Yes, he did. What you're seeing is the aftermath of double pillage. I mean, Zaz333 so far has been able to fight back against everything that's happened here. Picking 2 different options that get him to a Fine Edition picked up. Now Fine Edition isn't online right now, I believe. You'd have to kill the unit first. But it does get you back the enticing reward, which is what he wants it for, I think. They're saying Aphra's still 2-5, so. Alright, there's Anakin flips as well here. Three turns away from Super Laser Blast. But yeah, I mean, Jonah's definitely got an opening here. We'll see if he can take advantage of it. Zaz333's hand is not all that well equipped for dealing with the board like this right now. Vigilance? That's not allowed, is it? Or are we at the start of a new round and he's at 6? Alright, Jonah does have initiative here. But Zaz is able to match with this vigilance here. Going aggressive, milling here and inclining K2. Alright, so those are fine mills here. Force throw is definitely one you would like to see go. Aphra gets eaten by a Luke here. Zaz3's got the out for the Luke in Fell the Dragon. He doesn't have the out to Anakin. You entrenched is that, actually. But he has to give up one of these other pieces. It looks like he's not willing to do that. Just going for the Luke there. Yep. Now, Jonah's very close to playing this Crate Dragon, which could definitely shift the game massively. But for now, he's just going to go for a Steela. Alright, Steela is going to pick up something here. Village right now would be crazy good. Absolutely, yeah. I think we've seen all three now. You know, so far, I don't want to jinx it, but I think this has been one of the more lucid late night streams that I've done in a while. Maybe ever. All right. Super Laser Blast. Was that online at this point? Yeah, Simon's counted. He's at 8. So screw it. I said about lucid. Thought he was still on 7. All right, and steel will be used here. Oh, never mind. Also about that. Pillage. So he did have extra copies. And he found one off Stila. And I mean, this is actually a pretty massive one, hitting Vigilance restock with, I believe there's already, we saw one restock resourced earlier. Zaz333 is just fighting for every card he can get here. Trying to win a race against time. So badly destroyed card advantage from all these pillages. And Zaz333's now at 20 on base with the threat of a Crate Dragon coming down this turn. Not where you want to be. It's actually not even going to be Crate Dragon. It's going to be K2. Was sort of... it's going to bait something. But it's not the same stuff as the Great Crate Beast. All right, another Vigilance picked up here. Oof. And the Force Thrower there to clear the Vigilance as well. And there's the Crate Dragon and insult to injury. I think we're going to see a game 3, folks. And we're actually still not technically at time yet. We've been streaming for 53 minutes. So we're not in time yet. I will be back shortly. All right, I'm back. No enticing reward for Zaz3. Definitely hurts. And Steela here is gonna get some card advantage there, and it looks like, yeah, Pillage. Second one, and all three copies of Crate actually are gonna go to the bottom here, but the way he skips resources early is driving me crazy. Wait, did he skip on 4 here? Look, I mean, I guess it's one way to beat Pillage. Oof. It looks like Jonah might have forgotten the on defeat of Steela. Oop, there's a Pillage. Okay. And Jonah's got the Force Throw to follow it up with. Oh, that's so rough. But, I mean, in terms of board presence, like, Jonah doesn't have much. Just this frozen arc. No trigger of Steela. I'm not sure what that means. Alright, here's an Aphra flip. Jonah's got a Poe in hand, which, if he gets it off, could be, a way to... He could remove the Frozen Carbonate from the arc, theoretically, which might be a thing, but Poe's likely to get, just instantly removed if he does come down here. Oop, yep, by Vanquish is one way to do it. I'm not sure if this Aphra is buffed or not. He didn't trigger the saw when defeated. Maybe saw all his tactics go to the bottom and missed. Yeah, there were definitely a lot of tactics that went to the bottom, so he didn't want to trigger it again. But yeah, he definitely did miss it. Alright, Aphra now buffed here. Or by the entrenched. I don't believe by her ability. Zaz3. Ooh, there's the enticing reward, but so rough. He's gonna resource it here, yeah. I think he's basically forced to play Vanquish here on the Poe. He goes for resourcing Evacuate instead of enticing. Yep, yeah, remember, Aphra does not mill on her flip side. Alright, there's Vanquish. It's Poe. Does that turn on the Aphra? Oh, well, she's going to get debuffed here by Luke. Luke gets the Enticement Word played on him. Ooh, Jonah picks up a pillage here. Could be big. Being on 6, Zaz333 really needs to find a way to immediately deal with this Luke. Top target. And oh, he gets to Fell the Dragon. Fell the Dragon is exactly what he needed here. He skips another resource, which hurts, but he needs the cards. All right. Zaz333's definitely been playing this one in a risky way, but so far he's managed to stay in it despite skipping resources in really awkward spots. All right, Regional Governor. Calling the Entrenched there. Nice one. This Super Laser Blast is going to be big when it goes off, but you got to get there first. Vigilance, probably just going to be heal and mill. Yep. Not a particularly important card set there, just 6. Alright, next turn, Super Laser Blast is going to be online. Ooh, Pillage. Now, is Jonah going to commit to another unit here? He's not. Going to be careful about it. Jonah picks up another force throw. Oh, Zaz333 is holding on for dear life. But Jonah doesn't really have a way to punish him too hard here. I mean, he can play out 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If he resources, he goes to 10. He can play out both these Jedi this turn. I guess he could do it without resourcing either way, but he can play the force throw in addition to that. I mean, I guess he could do that either way anyway. But you can go now. You can go Cassian, Kanan, force throw. That's a pretty strong play. Ooh, tech coming out of the resource row. Not the cannon out of hand. Oof. Not amazing draws there for Zaz3. I mean, the power of the dark side is fine, but it's not targeted. All right, just going for vigilance. Ooh, K2, that's a good hit. And Jonah is down to just 11 left in deck. So it's possible Zaz3 can pull this one out by just stalling a little bit more. Ten cards now left in deck for Jonah. $19 health though for Zaz3. He's walking a tight line. Yeah, he's gonna play another enticing reward. Once these units die, he's gonna get a good payoff. He needs a super laser blast. Does he even have any left? I know he's played one and he's got one in the discard from Aphra. I don't know if we have the third one accounted for. All right, power of the dark side. All right, and that's going to be a trigger for one of these enticing rewards and trigger for the Yoda, which gets Jonah a bit closer to deck out here. Oh, there's super laser blast. I think you got to take that. The other card, maybe it's vigilance. I guess, yeah, probably just vigilance. I think he's thinking about that vigilance, though. There definitely are arguments for taking something else. Takes takedown instead of... Ooh, takedown and vigilance, not super laser blast. That is risky. All right. But Zaz3's got 5 on board. All right, takedown. Gonna clear attack. Get another trigger of the enticing reward. And then there, this time he's gonna pick up that super laser blast. And ooh, the restock instead. Not what I would have gone with. I mean, maybe he doesn't have the other copies accounted for and he needs it. That's the case. Like I think we saw one resourced. And how many of those are resourced? Could be bad news. All right. Zazzy's managed to cause quite the stir here after a rough opening. Just 4 cards left. Oh no. Okay, wait. So Zazzy has to play Vigilance here. Because otherwise he's dead to a second K2 just hitting the table immediately. He wants to play top target immediately, but he's got to play Vigilance. He's looking like he's going for that play. Yep. But the question is, does he have enough time to play the top target next round? This one is really going to come down to the wire here. Jonah's got the second K2, which Jonah's just gonna take initiative here. Whew. I think Jonah's got it. He has 4 to base. So you go takedown, but then he just dies to second K2. Yep. All right. Wow. That was. Oh, just. It really came down to it. I'm sorry. I wish I could have been more energetic as a commentator, but I'm really not underscoring well how close that was. Just a couple more health, couple more actions, and things could have gone very differently. Jonah had no cards left in deck. No strategic threats left. Except for... well, Luke is kind of a strategic threat, but the K2 is really just the last one there to help that. To help Jonah sneak through. Wow, congratulations, Jonah, for pulling off the reverse sweep and moving on to the top 8. Congratulations, Zazzy, for making it this far with Aphra. So, thank you everyone for tuning in, and remember to always take the initiative.